up, everyone? My name is Andrea. If you don't know me, you should subscribe because, like, why not? You should also hit the notification bell down below to be notified every time I upload a new video. But anyway, today I thought it would be really fun to go through my Goodreads and read some of my old reviews on some of my all-time favorite books. Most of the time, if a book really hits me, I will write a full-on wordy, lengthy review. Sometimes I just give a star rating, which most of the time I just give a star rating, but there are and have been some instances where I wrote a full-on review. So I want to go back. I have not reviewed my Goodreads reviews in a long time, so I want to go back and read them to you guys. And let's just see if I still agree. Let's just see what I thought of some of my favorite books. I know that some of them could have changed, so I just thought it'd be kind of fun to go ahead and go through those. So I have my computer right here and I'm gonna read them, but the first one that I think is kind of funny is The Cruel Prince. So if you don't know, I love The Cruel Prince. Like, it's by Holly Black. It's about fairies, and it's a really exciting world. If you haven't read it, it has enemies to lovers. It's great. I love that series, and I just realized that when I first read The Cruel Prince, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, not even a lot. So, I read it on May 13th, 2019, and this is what I had to say. Overall, I enjoyed The Cruel Prince, but I felt there weren't any subplots, and the main plot was drug out and uneventful. The book didn't leave me wanting to keep reading to find out where the story was going. It took me longer than usual to read, which for me is not a good thing. Okay, duh. The romance between Jude and Locke always felt fake, and Taryn seemed like a waste of a character, as the story could have been the same without her. Mood. Okay. I did like Jude and think she isn't just a typical YA girl trope, so that was a plus. I enjoyed Carden's character. I loved the cruelness of him and his friends. It was the most interesting aspect of the book, sadly. The world building wasn't the best. A lot of characters were forgettable and only appeared once or twice with no contributions to the story overall except the main, 7 characters. Okay, I don't remember being so harsh on that book, but I do see how a lot of people read The Cruel Prince and they're like, what the heck, like, why is this hyped? And I definitely think throughout the series it gets a lot better, and clearly I wasn't immune to that, of the first read of The Cruel Prince, so yeah, that's kind of funny. Okay, so then I read The Wicked King, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which was, better than 3 stars, and I said, this book was such an improvement from The Cruel Prince. There was character growth, plot, subplots, and foreshadowing. Jude and Carden's relationship changed, evolved, made me excited and rooting for them, and also shook me. That's a weird way to, say that. Okay. Book 1, the first half of the book, was slow, but when the second part hit, it was good. I put that in all caps. Definitely left me in anticipation of The Queen of Nothing coming in November. Also, Jude's character was tested a lot, which made the story better. That still holds true. I still think that that is all very true. So, I love that. I also rated House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I did that in March of 2020, and I said, phenomenal writing style, as expected from Sarah J. Maas. Brilliant, unique characters, and a plot that twisted and twisted until I felt it beneath my rib, straight to the heart. Okay. Like I said, I get very, extensive when I write them. Lovely, witty, sexy, clever, worthy of high praise, lighted up. That was a very good review. I'm really proud of myself. I still stand by everything that I said in that review. I love Crescent City, so yeah, you should read that if you haven't. Okay, so we have Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, which is book 2 in the Grishaverse trilogy. I gave it 3 stars and said, this book was very slow-paced throughout the beginning and middle. Not until the end did it pick up and things really started getting good. That's all I said. I probably could give that one lower because I don't really care about it. I also read The Cruel Crown, which was a short novella from Victoria Aveyard from the Red Queen series. Gave it 3 stars and said, easy, quick read, not the most entertaining, but written well. True. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, everything else that I have a review on is 5 stars, so I'm sorry. There's no tea. I just love books, okay? I read Aurora Rising, and I wrote a review on March 27th of 2020, and I said, little bit cheesy, but very cute and heart-wrenching. Great characters with their own personalities and stories. Love interest that is out of this world. Haha, see what I did there? That's so cringy. Aurora Rising takes place like in space. Like it's a young adult science fiction book. And I'm so dumb. I put the love interest is out of this world. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, but I mean, I do love me some Kel, so I'm not mad about it. I also did a review on Aurora Burning, which is cool because I reviewed both of them. Gave it 5 stars, and I said, talk about biggest cliffhanger I have ever read in my entire reading career. That's some big words. Lots of funny moments, big twist that I saw coming, but others may not. I'm just like not like other girls, I guess. 5 stars just for that cover. I mean, come on, have you seen Kel? I feel like I was trolling on these Aurora Burning and Aurora Rising reviews. Like I was just being a troll. I'm sorry. I also read a review for Winter by Marissa Meyer, the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles. I wrote, very perfect ending. That final line sent me into sobs. Too much descriptions of what things look like for my taste, which I think could have been edited out. But other than that, I really enjoyed this book to wrap up the series. Okay, that's a pretty positive review, and I do stand by that. I do think that Marissa Meyer just writes like very long descriptions of everything, and I'm like, I don't need all that. I know that's a tree. You don't gotta tell me everything about that tree. I know. And that like kind of made me mad, but that's it. I really did like that book. I also rated The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I said, I really enjoyed The Red Scrolls. Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu are great writers and really gave me all that I could hope for on a book about Alec and Magnus. A lot of action, romance, and familiar faces. That's so basic. That's such a basic review. Like, why'd I even have to say anything? I wrote a review for The XY by Virginia Bergen, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. No, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which is funny because the overall Goodreads rating is 2.97, so I'm on the outs here. The XY is a new dystopian, unlike any I have read before. Okay. Our main character, River, meets a boy for the first time in her life and struggles with the aftermath of their lives crossing paths. In this world where the male and female species are completely closed off from one another, the politics and rebuilding of ways of life is very interesting. At times, the book felt slow-paced, but not in a particularly bad way. Overall, I think this book was very well written and such an idea to tackle in one novel. Not much romance at all, but it's hinted at, which was refreshing to not have a mushy love interest for the main character like in most other dystopians. I liked seeing Mason's character evolve. I am still left with questions unanswered, but I think that is a general point of the book. I'm free to make my own take on how this world goes moving forward. Okay, yeah, I stand by that. I talked about the XY in my previous video. If you want to go check that out, you can. It's a pretty cool dystopian, and that review is like very solid, I think. I also read The Dark Tide by Alicia Jacinska. This one is a sapphic book about witches. I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars though. I said, very intriguing plot that was well executed. Loved the main character Lena, and of course our heartless witch queen Ava. A bit slow paced at first, but the ending was great and worth it. That's pretty solid. I really did enjoy that book. It was a solid 4 stars. I wrote a review for The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz-Zafón. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. That book was recommended to me by Callahan Skogman, who is playing Matthias in Shadow and Bone. Yes, he directly told me to read it through DM because I asked him and bothered him. But anyway, that was great. Also a video on that. You can check it out. My review for this one was, this book had me from the first page. It is art. It is the type of story that I feel is a lost form of writing. Extremely enticing, raw, horrific, and beautiful. Would recommend to those out there who love books and understand the consciousness to them that only deep, true readers can fully comprehend. I sound so... I stand by it. Like, I stand by that review. I love it, but it's just funny. Like, I am the connoisseur of books. Like, I know everything. And I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of fun. I did rate City of Bones a 4 out of 5 stars when I did a reread. I put, this was a reread for me. I really give it 3.5. Oh, I give it 3.5. Definitely can see more flaws this time around than I did the first few times I read. Still enjoyable and good writing. Not too much happens though. Yeah, not too much happens besides Clary, like finding out that there's a world of demons and like downworlders that she didn't know about, but nothing happens. Andrew, okay. Ooh, I rated Defy Me a 5 out of 5 stars because I love that book. I gave it, wait, I already said that. I said, this book had many of my favorite types of scenes to read. The trauma in this book was handled amazingly. Brilliant read, if I'm being honest. I stand by that. I love Shatter Me. Okay. I hate that people hate on Shatter Me, so I'm just gonna keep going. I rated The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black a 5 out of 5 stars. I said, this book was exquisite and horrific and lovely, and Holly Black is the queen of fairy. That's all I have to say. That was my whole review. Honestly, a lot of people kind of follow my Goodreads and my reviews, and I'm like, why? Like, they're all so cringy. Okay, Blood and Honey, which was book 2 from Serpent and Dove by Shopping Mahurin. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Said, fast-paced, so many twists, deceptions, moments that I laughed and cried and wanted to scream into the void. Great sequel for me. Loved it. That kind of just seemed very generic. Like, I felt like I was just wanted to say something. Okay, that was annoying. Shit. Oh, I gave Imagine Me, which was the final book in the Shatter Me series. After I just said how much I loved it, I gave it 4 stars, but I also wrote in the review more of a 3.5. Ooh, I remember that. I didn't really enjoy that book. Like, it wasn't as good as the first 3, or like it just wasn't that good. It wasn't that good of an ending to the series. I can't read that one because it's a spoiler. Sorry. I put a lot of spoilers in that review, so my bad. Then I rated The Lost Book of the White, which was book 2 in The Eldest Curses by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, 5 stars. I said, delightful from beginning to end, the perfect mix of humor and heartache, and the familiarity of being back with the OG Shadowhunter crew. Incredible. I just find all these like vocabulary words and throw them in there. I think that makes a good review. Recently, I read How the King Malfoy Learned to Hate Stories, 5 stars. I said, a beautiful, extravagant tale with a perfect mix of wickedness and heart. Loved it. That's a good review. Like, I like that review that I wrote. Then my most recent review that I wrote was for A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir, and I said, amazing, painful, enthralling, heartbreaking, a phenomenal tale that I'll carry with me forever, loyal to the end. I love that. Definitely agree with all of that. Sky Beyond the Storm was so good. It definitely deserved that writing review. It definitely deserved 5 stars. So I love that. I feel like all I've said for every single one is I love that. I love that to my own words. Like, that's kind of narcissistic, but I don't know. I don't know what the point of this was. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit though, because this was fun. I like to film this. I should do more things like this, but yeah, so I hope you have a little more insight to some of my reviews. Also, my Goodreads is always linked down below. You can check it out in the description. Fun fact, I used to have the wrong Goodreads linked, and it went to some random guy's Goodreads, and people were like, is this you? Like, is that your Goodreads? And it wasn't. And for so many of my earlier videos, I have the wrong Goodreads linked. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But yeah, you can check those out, follow my reviews. I do like to write reviews, like a lot of them, so there'll probably be more. But that's pretty much all I have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you for just hanging out with me. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment down below. Ooh, comment down a pencil emoji for writing reviews. Yes, okay. And that's all I have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Could have been a painter, could have studied law. Instead you are my paintbrush, you're my curriculum. Could have been a sailor, could have been an astronaut. Instead I drive for miles just to get to where you are.